Where does your consciousness go when you sleep? You've carried the weight of a loss that never happened here. You've heard messages so clear, so precise, they pierced your soul in ways waking words never could. Are we to believe these experiences are just meaningless static? Or are they messages from the source of your being? The more you begin to study consciousness, not just through textbooks, but through your own experience, the more you realize something astonishing. Reality may not be as solid as you think. The walls, the streets, the routines, they feel stable, certain, unshakable. But every night, when you close your eyes, you enter other realities, worlds just as coherent, just as structured, just as alive. Dreams aren't random scraps. They have landscapes, physics, narratives. Even when they defy waking logic, they make sense while you are inside them. That coherence is not an accident. It's a clue. A clue that what you call reality might itself be a projection. And ancient mystics knew this long ago. They taught that reality is not built from the outside in, but from the inside out. That the universe does not impose itself upon you. You are part of its creation every time you open your eyes, and every time you dream. So tonight, we ask the question Jung himself wrestled with. When you sleep, where does your consciousness go? And more importantly, what does it reveal about the true nature of reality? Dreams as the language of the unconscious. Carl Jung once wrote, "The dream is a little hidden door in the innermost and most secret recesses of the soul." For most of us, dreams are nothing more than fragments. Faces we half remember, places that dissolve by morning, chaotic stories that seem to vanish with the dawn. But what if dreams are not random? What if they are messages? Not from outside of you, but from the deepest part of you, your unconscious. Jung discovered that the psyche speaks a language all its own. It does not use logic, not grammar, not linear sentences. Instead, it speaks through symbols, through images, patterns, and archetypes that bypass the rational mind and strike directly at the soul. Think of it this way. When you are awake, you communicate with words, but when you are asleep, your unconscious communicates with images. That is the dream, the oldest language of the psyche. A snake in a dream is not just a snake. It may be life force, sexual energy, transformation, or danger, depending on your relationship with it. A house is not just a house. It may be you, your body, your mind, your soul. A broken window may be a wound, a locked door, a secret, an empty room, a potential not yet lived. This is why Jung urged his patients to pay attention, because dreams do not come to entertain you, they come to balance you. If you live too much in the light, dreams show you the dark. If you are stuck in the rational, dreams flood you with the irrational. If you are inflated with ego, dreams will humble you with shadow. It is as if the unconscious is always correcting, always guiding, always trying to complete the picture that your waking mind has left unfinished. And here is the astonishing thing. Dreams have their own coherence, a logic that feels complete while you are inside them. This is why when you dream, you rarely question where you are, or why things look the way they do. You know, because within the dream, you are fluent in the language of the unconscious. So the question is not whether dreams are real, they are. The question is whether you are listening. Because every night your soul speaks. Every night your unconscious writes its own story. And every morning you are handed a page from the book of yourself. Most of us throw that page away. But Jung invites us to pause, to read, to ask, what is my unconscious telling me tonight? Because in dreams, the deepest part of you is always speaking, the hypnagogic gateway, entering the threshold between worlds. There is a moment just before sleep takes you, when the boundaries begin to blur, your body feels heavy, your thoughts start to drift, and then images appear. Not quite dreams, not quite waking reality. This fleeting state has a name, the hypnagogic gateway. It is the threshold between two worlds, the conscious and the unconscious, the outer world of matter and the inner world of psyche. Carl Jung paid deep attention to these thresholds because here the ego loosens its grip, the rational mind surrenders control, and the unconscious begins to seep through. Many of history's great visionaries knew this secret. Thomas Edison would hold a metal ball in his hand as he dozed. The moment he slipped into hypnagogia, his hand relaxed, the ball fell, and the crash woke him, delivering flashes of inspiration that reshaped his inventions. Nikola Tesla, Salvador Dali, even Aristotle, all explored this liminal space. Why? Because here, imagination is unfiltered, symbols rise without censorship, ideas appear in pure archetypal form before logic and language can tame them. Jung would say, in this state, you are closer to the source, closer to the raw material of the psyche. It is the same wellspring that produces dreams, but here you glimpse it consciously. You are both awake and asleep, both here and beyond. Think of it like standing in a doorway. Behind you, the bright, sharp world of waking life. Ahead of you, the fluid, symbolic realm of dreams. For a few precious moments, you stand in both. And in that space, truths can slip through that neither world can hold alone. The hypnagogic state teaches us something profound. Consciousness is not a switch, on or off. It is a spectrum, a fluid movement across thresholds. And when you learn to notice it, to linger in it, you discover that the line between waking and dreaming was never as rigid as you thought. So the question is, what might you find if you dared to listen more closely to that threshold whisper? Because every night, before you cross fully into sleep, your unconscious knocks gently, offering a glimpse of the worlds you are about to enter. And in that liminal space, your soul is already speaking. Archetypes in dreams, meeting the ancient patterns of the psyche. Carl Jung discovered something extraordinary about dreams. They are not only personal, they are also collective. Yes, your unconscious speaks to you with the language of your own life, your family, your memories, your fears. But beneath that, dreams draw from a much deeper well, a reservoir Jung called the collective unconscious. Here live the archetypes, the timeless patterns of the human soul. They are not invented by you. They are inherited. They belong to every human being across every culture in every age. And in dreams, these archetypes come alive. You might dream of a wise old man who offers guidance at the exact moment you feel lost. That is the wise old sage archetype, carrying the energy of prophets, teachers, and ancestors. Or perhaps you meet a radiant woman, mysterious and enchanting, both nurturing and dangerous. That is the anima, the feminine energy within the male psyche appearing to draw you deeper into yourself. Maybe you are chased by a monster, a shadowy figure, a thief in the night. That is the shadow archetype, the unlived parts of yourself you have refused to face. Even dreams of journeys, battles, and hidden treasure. They echo the hero archetype, the eternal story of struggle, failure, death, and ultimate transformation. Jung recognized these figures in myths, religions, and legends worldwide, from Greek gods to Hindu epics, from fairy tales to tribal stories. And he realized they are not mere stories. They are the universal language of the unconscious, woven into every dream we dream. This is why your dream of being swallowed by the sea resembles the ancient myth of Jonah and the whale. Why your nightmare of a dragon mirrors St. George's battle or Chinese legends of transformation. Why the figure you meet in your dream feels both utterly strange and hauntingly familiar. Because when you dream, you are not only meeting yourself, you are meeting humanity. You are stepping into patterns that have shaped our species since the beginning of time. And here lies the gift. To recognize archetypes in your dreams is to realize that you are not alone. Your struggle is not unique. Your longing, your fear, your shadow are shared by every soul that has ever lived. Dreams remind you, you are part of a larger story, And the symbols that visit you at night are not meaningless illusions. They are the echoes of eternity, calling you deeper into who you are meant to become. Dreams as healing, how the psyche restores balance at night. Every night, when you close your eyes, your body begins to heal. Your cells repair, your muscles restore, your heart and lungs slow their rhythm. But Jung discovered something just as important. Your psyche heals too. Dreams are not random noise. They are medicine. They are the unconscious attempting to restore balance where your waking life has gone astray. Think about it. When you push yourself too far into logic and reason, your dreams pull you into chaos and emotion. When you live too much in the daylight of your ego, your dreams flood you with shadow. When you inflate with power and pride, dreams humble you with images of weakness, falling, failing, being chased, being small. Jung saw this again and again with his patients. A woman who repressed her grief by day would weep in her dreams, meeting the child she had lost. A man obsessed with control would dream of floods, of waves tearing down everything he built. These dreams were not punishments, they were corrections. They were the psyche's way of bringing the whole self back into alignment. And sometimes dreams heal through guidance. You wake from a dream with clarity about a decision, or inspiration for a project, or reconciliation with a person you thought you could never forgive. It is as if the unconscious does its own therapy while you sleep, a nightly session with the deepest part of your soul. Modern science hints at this too. In REM sleep, the brain processes emotion, sorts memory, files away what must be kept, and releases what no longer serves you. The psyche is not resting. It is working, harder sometimes than when you are awake. This is why cultures across time have treated dreams as sacred. The Egyptians sought healing through dream temples. The Greeks practiced incubation, sleeping in sanctuaries to receive visions from the gods. Tibetan monks practiced dream yoga, using dreams as a path to liberation. They all understood what modern life forgets, that the dream is not a waste of time. It is the inner doctor, the healer that lives in you, working every night to bring balance to a soul fractured by the demands of the day. So the next time you wake from a dream that stirs you, ask not only, what does it mean, but also, what is it healing? Because in ways you may not see, your dreams are always working to restore you to wholeness. Dreams, death, and the mystery of where consciousness goes. Every night, when you surrender to sleep, something profound happens. Your waking self dissolves. The I that moves through the world with its worries, plans, and masks fades away. And yet, something remains. Some part of you continues to wander, to see, to feel, to dream. Carl Jung believed this nightly journey was not trivial. It was a rehearsal, a preparation for the greatest mystery of all, death. Because what is death, if not the final sleep? The great letting go of the persona, the ego, the body that anchors us here. When you dream, you touch that same threshold. You leave behind physical senses and enter a world built of symbols and spirit. You discover that consciousness is not bound by the body. It flows elsewhere. It continues. This is why so many cultures treated dreams as messages from the other side. The Egyptians called dreams the little death. The Tibetans taught dream yoga, training the mind to remain awake in the dream state as practice for staying awake in death. The Greeks slept in temples, seeking visions from beyond. And indigenous traditions spoke of dreams as the place where ancestors still walk beside us. Modern science, too, is starting to whisper in this direction. In deep REM, the brain lights up with activity as if consciousness is not shutting down, but opening another channel. Some even speculate that DMT, the so-called spirit molecule, may be released in dreams, a chemical key that unlocks realms beyond ordinary reality. So the question arises, when you sleep, where does your consciousness go? Is it wandering through private imagination, or is it touching the edges of a greater reality, a realm that awaits us after death? Jung leaned toward the latter. He spoke of dreams as encounters with the self, that timeless center of the psyche that is larger than the ego, larger than this life. And if that is true, then every night we receive a rehearsal, a gentle practice in letting go, in dying and returning, in remembering that consciousness is not fragile, not easily extinguished. It moves between worlds. So perhaps the fear of death is misplaced. Because if you pay attention, you have already died 1,000 small deaths in sleep. And each morning you awaken reborn. The mystery remains unsolved. But maybe that is the point. Dreams remind us that consciousness is not a problem to be explained, but a mystery to be lived. And when the final night comes, perhaps it will feel familiar, like falling into a dream you have known all along. And we have walked together through the strange and luminous landscape of sleep. We have asked the question, where does your consciousness go when you dream? And we have found that the answer is not simple, because dreams are not entertainment, not random static, but the language of your soul. We discovered that dreams speak in symbols, the ancient tongue of the unconscious. That in the hypnagogic threshold you glimpse the raw material of the psyche. That through archetypes, your private dreams connect you to the stories of all humanity. That dreams themselves are a kind of medicine, restoring balance where waking life has torn you apart. And finally, that in every night's journey, you rehearse the deepest mystery of all, the mystery of death, and of what it means to be more than this fragile body. Carl Jung reminded us that the dream is not an escape, it is an initiation, a doorway into the self, the greater, timeless center of who you are. So now I ask you, what do your dreams whisper? What monsters chase you? What symbols return again and again? And what might they be asking you to face, not to frighten you, but to free you? If you have ever woken from a dream that felt more real than life, share it in the comments, because your story may be the mirror another soul needs. Your images may be the keys someone else has been waiting to recognize. And if this journey has touched you, if it has opened your imagination to the vastness of consciousness, then I invite you to like this video, subscribe for more Jungian explorations, and share it with someone who is ready to step into the mystery of their own dreams. Because in the end, reality may not be as solid as you think. The streets, the walls, the routines, they are one kind of world. But each night when you surrender to sleep, you enter another. And perhaps both are real. Perhaps both are necessary. Jung would say, who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens. And maybe, just maybe, your nightly dreams are not pulling you away from life, but calling you deeper into it. So tonight, when you close your eyes, step willingly into that temple of the soul. Listen, feel, remember. Because what you find there may change the way you see not only sleep, but life itself.